in this discipleship project we're doing, it's something that you can include with your whole family. And so at the end of each lesson, we want to include a way that you can discuss the Sunday school lesson with your family, whether it's smaller children or teenagers or whatever the makeup in your house may be. We want to give you a few points, not real long here, but a few points where you can discuss what we've talked about with your family. So we've been talking about this question, who is he? Who is this? Who is Jesus? And so, of course, the first question to do would be to ask your family. Ask those people, who do you say Jesus is? How would you describe Jesus? And so you're going to get a variety of answers, hopefully a lot of them in the affirmative and the positive sense, that they understand who Jesus is. Of course, if they don't, you can show them from Scripture who Jesus is. You can take them to Peter's words. You can take them to the revelation that Peter had and how the church is founded upon this. And so, of course, our church, our life must be founded upon this. You can also talk to them, though, about who Jesus is in their life. Views that they have of Jesus. How do they know that Jesus is real? Things that has happened in their lives. And again, with small children, you'll get great answers, things you probably didn't expect. But we see that Jesus reveals himself in different ways to different people. We talked about the story when Jesus enters the temple and he begins to cast people out. And this is a view of Jesus that most of us, it's a little unusual for us because Jesus is pretty upset here, but we see a different aspect of Jesus. And so your family, your kids, your teenagers may have seen through a service or an experience in their life a different side to Jesus. This is important for us to understand as well, because my view is not the entirety of who God is. My view is not the entirety of who Jesus is. And so the more I hear other people's, we may call them testimonies, of what God has done in their life, how God has shown up in their life, it adds to my view of God. Even though I have not been healed of a disease in my life, I hear testimonies of people who have, and so it adds to my understanding of what God can do in other people's lives and in my own life. So I would encourage you, gather your family together, ask them these questions. Who is Jesus? First of all, that question, who is Jesus? Then, who is Jesus to you? And then maybe ask the question, why do some people see Jesus differently in their life? And again, we've kind of mentioned that a little bit here. People see him differently in their life because of what he's done for them in their life. And so talk to them about how that other people's testimonies can build my own faith. Because while I may not encounter it myself, I may encounter somebody who's gone through a situation, and I can reach into what I know and say, well, I haven't gone through this, but I know somebody who went through a similar situation, and this is what God did for them. And then lastly, I would challenge you to ask them, how is our eternity tied to this question of who Jesus is? Ask that question. How is my eternal destiny tied to this? That what I believe about Jesus and who he is important for my eternal destiny. And I believe that if you have understanding about Scripture to any degree, you can answer that question for yourself and answer it for your family as well. So you can use some of these talking points. Maybe you want to take it further, but we just want to give you something this week as we're distanced from each other that you can utilize in a devotion with your family to encourage spiritual discussion with your family. So God bless you.